So you got the motivation and you're ready, willing, and able to get started working out, but you might not have the space or even the finances to get started with your training plan. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys a couple pieces of equipment that you can buy for under $100 to get you started on the right foot. So let's get to it. All right, my name is Eduardo and this is my garage, which is my home gym, and I have all of my equipment behind me. I have my gymnastics rings, my squat rack, my weights, including barbells and a handful of kettlebells, and I also have my parallettes, which were homemade, but do you really need all of that stuff to get started working out? And the answer is no, you definitely don't. I actually just bought this squat rack this year. You don't need it. It's more of a luxury, something that I wanted to support my rings, but also just for fun. I missed lifting really heavy, but you don't need that stuff, especially if you're just starting. You can get away with a lot more stuff. The squat rack takes up space, it's heavy, it's expensive, it cost me $700. This video is about building a home gym for under $100, so that's outside of that budget. You don't really need it. I'm gonna show you guys a few examples of what to get. So the very first thing on my list is a pull-up bar, and it could be as simple as a door frame pull-up bar. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive or anything, fancy. It can just be a doorway pull-up bar that you put on the trim of your door, and it's surprisingly really sturdy. I would do weighted pull-ups on that and it would be okay. Now, I imagine part of that is the integrity of the house, so you have to take that into consideration, as well as your own body weight. But the pull-up bar that I use was actually super durable. I bought it from Sports Authority. All right, so if you don't know what Sports Authority is, you're too young, because they don't exist anymore. That's how long I've had that pull-up bar. It's been 10 years, and I actually just gave it away to a friend a few months ago. But within that time, it's held up. I worked out when I lived in an apartment. I pretty much just connected it to a door frame and just worked out there and worked towards a one-arm chin-up and got it done. And that's the beautiful part about a pull-up bar, is that it's pretty much king of upper body exercises, specifically pulling strength. You can't beat a pull-up bar. You have lat pull-down machines and you have barbell exercises and dumbbell exercises, but they don't match. You can adjust the intensity needed to make a rep as hard as possible, and you can't necessarily do that with those other exercises. You can modify to any ability level. For example, you can work towards pull-ups if you're a beginner, and you can work towards one-arm pull-ups if you are more advanced. So I guess the bang for your buck here is significant. You can get a lot done and it will take you a very, very long way. Now, you do have other options too. You have the wall-mounted ones, you have the squat racks, but those are outside of the budget of this video. So the one I bought ended up being about $25 to $30. You can probably get it for the same price online. And you can get it even cheaper if you buy it used, like on Marketplace or Craigslist. I've seen it as low as $10. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck with the simple door frame pull-up bar. Now, the pull-up bar serves as two things. It serves as an exercise tool, but it also serves as a place to hang gymnastics rings, which is on number 2 of my list. Gymnastics rings just have a wide carryover to multiple exercises. I love how portable they are. If you want to go work out outside, you can loop them around a tree. When I lived with my mom, she had these things. I don't know what they're called, but they slant down over a driveway. They're wooden beams that slant down over a driveway like a roof. But what I would do is I would loop the straps around those wooden beams and attach my gymnastics rings to them, and then I could work out outside. So I didn't really need to also use my pull-up bar, which I had when I lived with my mom too. Gymnastics rings are great because if you don't use a pull-up bar, it cancels that expense out anyway, because you could do any exercise on rings that you could do on a pull-up bar. So the pull-up bar is not needed if you have something else to hang them from that's free. Gymnastics rings are extremely effective at building your pulling strength and your pushing strength, and they're so easy to modify any exercise. Take for example the push-up. You simply incline and get as much range of motion as possible, whereas compared to the floor, you can't incline the floor, you need to use like a bench or something elevated like a staircase. But with the rings, you simply walk out and incline more, but you also get much more range of motion because you can pull the rings behind you. Now, my favorite part of using rings is the ability to be able to transition movements together, and it trains the false grip so you can work on muscle ups. And once you get that down, you can start going from underneath the rings to above the rings with multiple exercises like forward rolls, backwards rolls, front kips, back kips, and it gets endlessly awesome. Just look at Olympic gymnasts. They are doing insane stuff. Gymnastics rings will just amplify any exercise that you're doing. I mean, the practical strength of it is just enough to want to invest in them. I mean, they're just pretty much the best bang for your buck. You can make the negative harder than the positive, which is extremely hard to do with weight. Only limited exercises can do that, but it costs way more. I mean, we can go on and on about the benefits of gymnastics rings. Definitely get a pair. You can get higher end ones like they sell at Rogue for about 80 bucks. But these were a gift from my girlfriend. She did not know what kind of gymnastics rings to get me when she asked me. I just said, let me get some wooden ones and I'll be happy with that. And they worked out really good. And so far from what I've seen, all wooden ones are extremely effective. Just be careful of the size. Make sure they're adult sized. You don't want to get kid ones. Let me pull out a pair that are for kids and show you the comparison. You don't want to get kid ones. Alright, so these rings are for kids, and you can clearly tell they're tiny. If I put them next to it, I mean, you can't train on kids ones, so just make sure they're adult sized. And if you want to know the size and diameter of that, you can simply just go on Rogue and look at those dimensions and then just order them online somewhere else if you want to save a little bit of money. But of course, you can go the expensive route, and I am pretty sure they're going to be a little bit more, or I guess just more bougie maybe. The Rogue equipment is pretty high-end. I love Rogue products, but they're expensive, so I try not to buy them for simple things like gymnastics rings. Last but not least, speaking about Rogue, I bought myself a Rogue kettlebell here, and I have 4 of them, and my Rogue squat rack. I am a big fan of Rogue, but they're expensive. You can buy kettlebells at a much cheaper price, either used on Marketplace, or there's a fitness factory by my place that you can buy kettlebells for $1 a pound. Rogue kettlebells are about $2 a pound, and not even taking into consideration shipping, okay? Try to find a place that's local if you're trying to save money, and you can find kettlebells at $1 a pound if you find the right place. Otherwise, you can get them at Marketplace. If you look for Rogue, they'll probably sell them for $1 a pound. On Marketplace, I found some, and I always try to buy them when I find them if they're at the heavier weight, but somehow someone always beats me. So try to be quick with it if you do want to get them. The kettlebell. Why is the kettlebell so good? Well, if you want to train with weight, the kettlebell is just incredibly versatile. And if you buy a beginner kettlebell, which would be somewhere between 18 to 35 pounds, you're going to be spending somewhere between $18 and $35. So it's really bang for your buck. You can do a lot of upper body exercises, you can do a lot of lower body exercises, and you can load it a bunch of different ways to make one exercise feel a lot heavier. And you can take a bodyweight approach to them too, and make it just that much harder. For example, you can work from a squat to a lunge to an ATG split squat, which is just a really deep lunge, to a Bulgarian split squat, which is like a one-legged lunge, and then you can do a shrimp squat, and then you can weight it. I mean, the progression could be body weight, and then you just fill in the gaps with the weight. You could also do kettlebell swings. You could take that further to one-handed kettlebell swings, to overhead snatches. I mean, the possibilities with the kettlebell is just endless, both for your lower body and your upper body. That's why I think it's a really good tool to use. I originally bought them because when I first started working as a personal trainer, I would travel to people's houses and have them work out with equipment that I had. So I had a TRX and I had a kettlebell, and I would basically just drive that around to my clients. And everyone I worked with was at a different ability level, but we were able to make things easier or harder just because we were just able to use leverage and grip and just change those kinds of variables. For example, if 35 pounds is too light for a press, you can make it extremely harder by going bottoms up. Okay, that itself adds a lot more tension, which creates strength. And for your lower body, I mean, you can go faster, you can go more single leg towards a pistol squat. You have a lot of options. So those are the 3 on my list. If you take a doorway pull-up bar new at $30, and you get Gymnastics Rings new at $30, and you get a 30-pound kettlebell, that's $90 right there. Under $100, you can get a full gym there and get incredibly strong. At least strong enough to do a one-arm chin-up, a handstand push-up, a planche push-up, a front lever, and a single leg pistol squat. If you're way beyond that, you might want to, I guess, invest in more, but I mean, honestly, you're gonna be set for a while. And I mean, kind of like we talked about, Olympic gymnasts are using rings, and I mean, you can get just infinitely stronger by using rings. And with the kettlebell, you have a lot of variety there. And if you have a little bit of extra money, go ahead and buy another kettlebell, and then you can do double kettlebell work by holding on to one kettlebell and then stacking another one on top, and now you've just doubled the weight that you're using. So that's it, guys. That's all I got. 3 simple tools: the Gymnastics Rings, a door frame pull-up bar, and a kettlebell, and you have all the tools necessary to start a home gym and start your training plan. All right, I hope you guys liked the video. If you want to see more like this one, please hit the like button, subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you guys next time.